Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nick Morell. I'm a sales manager here at Audio Video Export. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce and, well, have with us two of our most trusted and valuable assets with the Harman brand of products, Harman line of products. We've got with us our sales representative, Jose Valcarcel from Puerto Rico, as well as our lead tech, Luis Alfonso, who's going to be doing the presentation with us. In addition to these two gentlemen, one who's going to be doing the presentation, and the rest of us are going to be in the background here. I've also got with me George Vera and George Ocampo, who are our sales guys here within Audio Video Export. Should you have a question at any point in time, please make sure that you do fill out the question box there. And we will be happy to either verbalize it, or we will answer and type the question, the response to the question there in the chat box. We will be making sure that we get back to you. I am recording this for those of you who are here who want to just be able to have a quick little refresher, as well as for those who unfortunately were unable to make it with us. So without any further ado, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who is here, and also say thank you so much to Luis Alfonso and Jose Valcarcel, not only for the awesome support that you're able to give us on a regular basis, but also for taking the time out of your schedule in order to be able to do these kinds of presentations for us, both today and tomorrow in English and Spanish. So without any further ado, thank you, Luis, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi. Okay. Let me take a look at the screen. Hi, my name is Luis Alfonso. I'm based in Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico. I want to thank you to Nick and to Audio Video Export for this invitation. Plus, thank you all for taking part of your time. I know that usually we got busy schedules, but it's good to review some basics notes on the illustrated audio. I say sorry for my English. It's not as good as my Spanish and not close to Nick English. So for that, if you got any question because you don't understand what I say or whatever reason, just don't hesitate. Please just do it. Okay. With that said, let's start. Okay. Oh, sorry. There we go. That's where I am. For those who doesn't know where I am, I'm in San Juan, Puerto Rico, next to the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and really close from Miami. Here, more than happy to help you in any question regarding any kind of Harman products. Today, we're going to talk about distributed audio, basically, how it works. Distributed audio is not a new science. It was developed a long time ago. And basically, what it does is it's really similar to the way that the electric companies distributed their power to the houses and the cities. Basically, it's more or less the same thing. We just got a step-up transformer that get the voltage or raise the voltage so the current can be lowered. That allow us to run long distances of cables with small gauge of cable, which at the end it's a way to save money. Okay. At the other end, basically at the speaker, we got a step-down transformer that does the inverse. It gets the voltage down or lowered, and raise the current for the speakers. Okay, that's basically how it works. Here you got it more like in a different way that we can understand a little better. Here you got your paging source, could be a microphone, a phone, whatever kind of device do you want to generate that page. You got your business music source that could be any kind of player, and you got a mixer amplifier with a 70-volt output. You run a line that will be our primary line, and then you run secondary lines that are the ones that go through our speakers. That today usually all speakers dedicated to this kind of audio have a built-in step-down transformer. It's not like in the past that you maybe buy the speaker and you need to buy the transformer like like an accessory or maybe separate. Today, basically, speakers are sold as a package. There, you decide how much power you want to apply to that speaker, and so on. Okay. Okay. Talking about power, the other end of the system is the speaker. In there, where you will have, or you will find what we call taps. Taps is this small switch that can be in the rear or in the front of the speaker, or it could be a cable combination, color combination, that decide how much power the speaker will use. Okay, it got several uses. They can be used to make different volumes in the same place because we got maybe different ceiling heights. So you maybe need some speaker to have a little more power, the other ones to have a little less. That's one way to use it. If you're using too much speakers and you're running out of power on the line, because there's some maximum capacity on that 70-volt line, you can lower the power of each speaker so you can save at least 20% for the amplifier to be running efficiently. That we're going to talk about that later in front. So, but basically that's how it looks usually. It's a little switch, rotary switch, in which one side will be 70 volts, the other side will be 100 volts. Okay, or a cable combination. This is usually more used in less expensive speakers. The more economical ones are the ones that use that color cables. Okay. Advantage of a distributed system. Okay, no need to make a complicated calculation. You just simply add all the power of the speaker in the line, and that will give you a total of the power that you need to run that speakers. But it's a really good practice. Always save at least a 20% of that power, because it's not only the power that you need to run the speakers. There's some resistance in the line, some resistance in the cable, and some losses because of the distance of the cables. And usually, if you save that 20%, you are covering for all those losses. So you will have a better system, a more reliable system. Okay, the amplifier doesn't have to run, so hard, so tough to make the work. You don't have a limited amount of speakers on a line. You can connect as many speakers as you want, as long as you respect the rule that you cannot overrun the output of the amplifier. Okay. Usually, if you plan ahead with some extra power, you can have some speakers added in the future without having to change the amplifier. That for the client will be really great. If you want to add like maybe a outdoor zone to the restaurant, and you tell it, you only have to add the speaker and that's it. They will be really happy. Okay. Another advantage, the speaker volume can be set by speaker, not by the line. So you can make, like I said before, different changes in volume on different parts of the area of the zone. Okay. You can use a small gauge of cable. So you can use a cheaper cable, a less expensive cable, because of the gauge. You can run on smaller gauges, and you can make really long run of cables. Usually, if you're doing hotels, airports, or maybe some kind of factory, and you got runs of hundreds of feet, maybe thousands of feet, you can do it. Okay. Good practice. This is not like rules, but if you live by these practices, usually you don't have too much problem, for at least any problem. Okay. They're based on readings that I had done plus on my personal experience. I've been in this industry for the last 25 years, more or less. So I have found a lot of things, or I have encountered a lot of different things. Okay. Good practice. Maintain the correct polarity. In other way, positive to positive, negative to negative. Combinations are not good. Okay. It doesn't mean that it will not work, but it will not work on the correct way. And if you need to do measurements on the system because of a service call, you will have like the wrong information because of that. So at least positive to positive and negative to negative. Make sure that all the speakers are in 70 volts if it's in a 70 volt system. 100 volts is a 100 volt system, or 8 ohms is an ohm system. Don't do any kind of combination with 70 volts and 8 ohms in the same line. The amplifier will see that like a shortcut, like a short circuit. Okay. Usually today amplifiers protect themselves and stop delivering power, but if not, it could end on a fire. So please make sure that all your speakers are set correctly. Okay. Like I said before, only use 80% of the available power of the amplifier. Save that 20%. It will help you a lot. If it is possible, consider to use a little more than the power requires. Okay. If you need 100 watts, at least give it 120. Okay. That will allow you to make future expansions on the system without having to change all the system or change the amplifier, which is usually one of the most expensive parts of the system. Okay. This is one that I really encourage you to do it, is take time to plan your wiring. Don't start to run wires as you can or as you find a way. Try to do it in a more planned way. That will help you a lot, saving on wire amount. Plus, when service call comes, it will make a lot more sense to the technician how to service the system. Okay. Basically, what I'm telling you is doesn't start to jump from speaker to speaker without any kind of order. Try to make like a primary line, and from that line going to each speaker, same as the electrician does with the lighting. It's more or less the same. So if you plan it ahead, you will be happier. If there's available or is possible, and I say when it's available or possible because not all the amplifiers and not the equipment allow you to do this, apply presets. Usually presets are made by the factory, or at least a high-pass filter. Transformers on a 70 volt line doesn't like low frequency. They get saturated really fast. So if you can at least filter part of those frequencies that will not be going to be used for by the transformer will be performed. It will be you will get a better sound from the system. Okay. This is the good practice that I was talking about. If you got an example, this is a 100 watts amplifier in which we got 4 speakers. Each speaker with 20 watts equals 80 watts. From those 100, I rest 80. It gives me 20, and basically that's the 20% that I'm talking about. It will be happier if you do the same system with 120 watts amp. I know that sometimes this is not possible because of the price of the amplifier, for the budget of the client, or any other reason. So like I said, it's not a rule, it's not right on stone. But if you can do it, it will be a lot better system. And at the end, the client will be happier than that. Okay? Basically, you got the same 120 watts, the same amount of speaker, same amount of power, equal to 80 watts. There you got your 20%, plus you got another 20% for the extra for future expansion. That there could be maybe a 2 speaker at 10 watts, and with that added, you're still having your 20%. That's a really, really good practice. And in long term, that means that your amplifier is going to run really, really nice, and it will last a longer time. Okay. From there, we go into cables. This is a table that I found in a cable company. I'm going to resolve the name. I found it really useful. In this table, you got your gauge, right? Different system, 4 ohms, 8 ohms, 70 volts. And this table, what give you is the power loss in a percent and the dB loss in decimal, right? Let's make an example of this. Okay. If I using 16 gauge for the wire, okay, in a 70 volt system, if we say reasonable loss of 11% and a dB loss of 0.5 dB, which usually is not that bad because the human ear
Not perceivable.
not perceivable. That's the word. Thank you. For the humans, you know, it needs to be at least 3 dB to start to make sense to the human ear to be perceivable. Okay. So with that said, 16 gauge, you got 1,305 feet of cable, which is a lot of cable, which is a long cable. Okay. Sorry for a second. Okay, I'm back. So that's on cable, as you see, in a 7-volt system. As long as you take the calculation or consideration of the loss and the dB loss, you can run a really long distance cables. On my personal experience, the longest cable that I have run is 3,000 feet. It's a contact lens factory here in Puerto Rico that we have done the whole factory, and the runs are really, really large, really long. So I tell you that if possible, it works. Okay. Question at the moment? No questions? Well, good. I'm going. Okay, with that said, I'm gonna change my screen. I'm gonna talk about the JBL commercial products. I'm not gonna talk about products too much. It's not that I'm gonna go product by product or with their features, but at least I need you to know that we got different solutions on different budgets for different applications. So at least we're gonna run through some products. Okay. This is the JBL commercial product line. It's cost-effective products. They're not expensive products, but still having a really, really good quality, and they are really reliable. Okay. All the products that you will find in this line are similar in quality and prices. So if you take products, all the products, or you make your system using products from this website or this site, you will end with, you know, an amplifier that goes according to the speaker, that goes according to the mixer. Okay. Highlights in this line is that there are simple solutions from 1 zone up to 4 zones, complete and cost-effective products. They all use drive core technology, which is a technology proprietary of Crown, which is the latest in amplifier technology. In these products, you don't need a computer or any kind of programming, just basic analog interfacing that it's just pressing switches. And even you don't need a computer because the interface is analog, but the process in the systems is still digital. Okay, so you got a really good sound quality with a really nice price. Okay, I'm gonna go to the page. Let me make some changes here. Oops, sorry. And sorry, I swear that I have that open before, but okay. Nick, you are seeing my screen. You are seeing the web page, right?
Yes, yes, we are.
Oh, all right. So if you go to www.jblcommercialproduct.com, this is what you'll find. You will have mixers and amplifiers, loudspeaker, microphones, and well control, all related devices to the same family of products. Let's click on mixers, and there you go. You got mixers. That is basically a mixer. It's a board. You can mix different signals, program signals, but they don't have any kind of amplifier built in. For that, you got mixers, amplifiers. The mixers are here. Okay? And you got mixer amplifier that got both in together, mixers and amplifier on the same unit. And you got amplifiers that they just amplify the signal that you send to them. Here you got one channel amplifiers and two channel amplifiers. All the amplifiers in this series run 70 volts, 8 ohms, 100 volts, and 4 ohms. Basically, except for these two, all the rest of the amplifiers are drive core technology. Drive core technology is a technology patented by Crown some years ago, which take a lot of parts out of the amplifier, makes the amplifier section or the output section more simple, but the most important is that it made it at least like 95% efficiency. So it's a really, really nice, efficient amplifier with that use a little power, but it deliver a lot of energy, with a residual of heating at the minimum. They run really cold.
Luis,
Yeah.
would you consider the drive core amplifiers a Class D amplifier, and what would be the fundamental difference as it relates to efficiency between a Class AB traditional amplifier versus a Class D amplifier?
Okay, it will be a Class D because it's fully digital. Basically, like inefficient, we're talking that we are used to have like maybe a 60, 65, maybe 70 efficient percent. In this amplifier, you are running to a 95% of efficiency. It's the saving on electricity is huge. Plus, they run really cold. So when you got a large amount of amplifier in a room, you don't need to control the temperature of the room that bad. For the client today, that in green edge technology, it's really important. Basically all those these amplifiers have a built-in mode that when they don't sense any kind of action for a time, they just turn down the output section of the amplifier. But when they sense audio again, they come up and you need a notice. So when there's time by during the night or during the off hours, they're not consuming basically any power. Okay. From there, we got different units. For give you an example, we got the VMA, which is more or less like a receiver or like the receiver that you got in your house. This one got Bluetooth connection. It got USB for playing a file from a USB drive. It runs 70 volts, 8 ohms. It comes in one channel and two channel versions, and you can connect microphones. The microphones, they got like a chime, that's those bells that you hear prior to the message. It does docking, so when the page comes in, the music will go down and the page will go over. Okay, so it's a complete unit in just one device. Okay, complete system in just one device. From there, you go to the speakers. Then, like I says, basically, not a huge amount of speakers. There's all these speakers are more or less related on price features to the amplifiers in this section. We got speakers, in those speakers, surface mount speakers, and horn speaker maybe for parking lot or any outdoor area. We got a pendant speaker if you need like an open ceiling. We got that covered too. We got all the accessory for the speakers. And we got some microphones dedicated to these items. I say dedicated because if you see here, you will notice that the microphone has like these 4 switches. These switches are for selecting zones, paging zones. And like I tell it, it's a system that it goes from 1 zone up to 4 zones. Okay. And we got volume control that can raise or lower the volume of the device or the amplifier and select between 2 sources. That needs to be done in combination with the product, but each product tells you what volume control it's allowed to be used with that product. They're not digital, they are analog, and they use Cat5 cable for connection. Okay? Basically, this is the end of the line. They come in black and white, the wall controllers. We got 2 versions, the standard US version and the European version. Okay. Any question on these products? Okay. With that, we go back to our PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to talk about some other products. These products that I'm going to talk about now are a little more expensive, a little more tough on power or heavier on power or more robust. And they require some kind of programming, not too extensive, but you know, they're more like for major solutions. Okay. This is our first product. This is the Crown CDI. This baby has been in the market for I don't know how many years, but it has been a long time. It runs 70 volt as well as 100 volt lines. It's switching on universal power supply. It got the LCD on the front, which you can use it to program. To program the amplifier. You can do it also through a computer using Audio Architect software, the software that basically runs all the Harman products, and that's through a USB connection. Okay. And you can save presets on these amplifiers, or you can use presets done by Harman for JBL speakers. Okay. It's a cost-effective amplifier. It's not as economical as the commercial series, but still a really nice price amplifier, and the quality of these products have been tested for more than 10-15 years already, so they're really reliable. Okay. There's a new version of that puppy. This is the CDI Drive Core Technology amplifier. It's a full line of amplifier. This one comes in 2 channels and 4 channels, different outputs. The main thing is that the DSP had been increased a little bit. It got more DSP. It got network. So the connection is no longer a USB connection. It's an Ethernet connection. In some models, that the ones that ends with the DL, they got the BlueLink audio protocol embedded on the amplifier. BlueLink is a audio protocol proprietary of Harman, in which we can deliver up to 265 channels of audio in a digital way through a Cat5 cable, Cat5 connection, but it doesn't go through the Ethernet. So it's not like Dante that runs on networks. BlueLink, no, BlueLink is just designed to go from device to device. Okay. The main thing a bit different from this amplifier and this amplifier is that here you got, like I said at the beginning, a regular amplifier that got a step-up transformer on the output section. So when you want to run a 70-volt line, you enable that transformer to take part of the action. In this one, you don't have that transformer. The amplifier itself have enough energy inside to deliver that 70-volt line without using a transformer. What means that, or which that means is that you will get a lot better sound coming out of this amplifier. And believe me, the difference is huge, because you will not have the problem of transformer get saturated by low frequencies. You don't have the resistance of that transformer on the amplifier. So you're still having that same situation on the speakers, but at least you are taking out the one on the amplifier. Okay. With that said, we got this one. That's DCI. This is our top-of-the-line amplifier for installed audio. These guys can run from a 70-volt speaker to a concert speaker. It's everything in just one box. The DSP, it's more robust, it's more dramatic. The cues are more exactly. All the EQ algorithms are done by VSS, so you got that legendary VSS audio, which is a really good quality audio in these units. It's a beautiful amplifier to work with, and it can be controlled and monitored through the internet using Audio Architect. Okay. From there, we go to some matrix, audio matrix.
I'm sorry, Luis.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go back to the DCI. This is Jose.
Yep.
I just want to mention that the DCI series is the only one amplifier that we have on board that has 8 channels. If you need that, okay. The CDIs, the basic model is 2 channels only. CDIs drive core 2 or 4 channels, and this DCI comes up to 8 channels of power if you need to make different sounds. Thank you.
You're welcome. It comes really handy to make a lot of sound, but also when you're doing cinema, if you're doing like cinema audio, that you need a lot of discrete channels for different speakers, it comes handy to have 8 channels amplifiers. Okay. From there, we go to our matrix. This is a Sound Pro 1260. There's a 640, but this is my favorite one. And this is a really old line in the Harman library, to say it that way. But this product has been tested, still, selling really good. It's a pre-configured matrix audio with a really nice DSP section. You can see it here. It's a matrix with the DSP. It works like a charm. It's really nice. It can give you up to from 4 to 6 sounds. It's a fixed architecture design, so we cannot, work or play with how it's planned, but still doing a lot of things. Use a simple wizard configuration for programming, and I tell you, it's really simple. It's a matter of 12 steps, and you are working. And you are not writing any kind of codes or anything like that. You're just saying, yes, I is, or no, I need it. It's really simple. The CC wall controllers, we got wall controller for volume, for source selecting, for paging steering, for volume and source selecting. That is the one that we got in the screen. There are analog interface wall controllers, but the process in the unit is still being a digital process. Okay. The program is free from the DBX webpage. You can download it and play with the program if you want to get familiar. And honestly, it's one of my favorite products because it got everything really nice price, super nice quality, and a really nice audio quality too. So it's a win-win-win-win product. Okay. From there, we go our top of the line process, that is the BSS Sunweb London. This one is a little different. This is an open architecture system, so you can do whatever you want on that unit, and we will see it in a next slide. You don't have any kind of limiting on output or inputs. As long as you keep doing daisy chain of unit, you can add more input or output. We got variety of inputs and output. What I mean is that we got analog inputs and outputs, and we got digital inputs and outputs. We got telephone hybrid cards, we got echo cancellation cards, all compatible with the units. The programming of this system and the monitoring is done through Audio Architect, which is our base program or platform in Harman. Okay. And some models are compatible with Dante protocol, that it's the flavor of the month, like I said, like Baskin Robbins. Everybody wants to have Dante in their product right now. You know, you can buy even a pencil with Dante, but we got some chassis that are compatible with Dante. The topology of connection of these products is really important. The topology in these products is more like a network topology, not as the DBX that is a standalone unit, so you don't need to make any kind of network or any kind of sub-network. But here, yes, here you will need a data switch for the controlling units and for the communication of the units. Here are the world controller of this unit. This is the Trio series world controllers. We got different world controllers from 8 buttons to 4 buttons with volume, with no volume. They are all these devices are digital, so they run on Cat5 cable, and they use PoE, power over Ethernet, to power up. Okay. Basically, like I said, it's an open architecture workflow. So whatever you need, you put it in there, and it's done. With that, what I mean is that when you're programming, you're just adding these blocks. For example, these blocks are matrix. These blocks are gain, like a fader. Maybe these ones are mixers, you know. So in this case, you need to do a really planning ahead what you're gonna do, so you don't end losing money because you don't use a lot of what you buy, or the other way you get short of equipment because you didn't plan it ahead. So this one requires sitting with a pencil and paper and doing a lot of planning ahead. Okay.
Now, bear in mind also, because anybody who looks at this and who's not a pro AV guy, or who doesn't delve into this is pretty intimidating. And while it's definitely great that the features are all there, not every feature is necessary for the functionality. For the most part, some of the products are plug and play, not all of them. Some of them are what Luis and Jose say are programmable, and some of them are configurable, and the difference being the level of modification or programming that's necessary in order to be able to get them operating. So with a 70-volt system, most of the time, you need to do a little bit of processing, but you don't necessarily have to go through, all sorts of mixing and, dealing with ducking and delays and all of this other stuff. It really is going to depend on the job. And the important takeaway from this, from us, as well as, and forgive me for speaking on your behalf, is that you guys understand that it can do it, but not only is audio video export here in order to be able to support you, but Luis is there to support you, and so is Jose for post-sales support. So this is not 1-800 good luck. We're not, trying to sell you a solution and then hoping that you're going to be able to read through the 100 and something page manual in order to be able to figure it out on your own. We're going to guide you every step of the process, every single step of the process, in order to be able to make sure that the job is executed to the level that it's supposed to.
Thank you. Okay. And with that, we basically this BSS Somewhere London is divided into major categories, which is our configurable. That means that you can choose what kind of cards do you use, the input card or output cards, and how do you put it on the system. And the fixed one, those models here. In this one, basically, we give you an amount of inputs and outputs, and you cannot make any adding to the unit physically. But you can do is adding a second unit, share those input and output through, well, like I said before, like BlueLink, our network, our audio protocol. So you can increase the amount of input or outputs. But the physically on the unit, we can already give you, like, for give you an example, 12 input, 8 outputs, and that's it. In the configurable ones, you can add more input or less or more outputs as you need it. You can maybe pay for inputs only and 12 outputs, or maybe 8 or 11, 12 and 4 as you want to. Okay, that's our main difference. Really important at the beginning, when I start to talk about products, I talk about JBL commercial site, but that's not the only products available on the JBL speakers or JBL site. We got a huge amount of speakers dedicated to install audio. Basically, for every need that you have, we can have a speaker. From outdoor speakers to wood cabinet speaker to landscape speakers, we got everything already planned ahead. I'm not gonna tell you that I got all the speakers in the world, but at least a nice, really nice amount of speakers that you can select. And the more important thing is that you can make mix and matches. Because you are using an amplifier from the commercial series, it doesn't mean that you cannot use a speaker from the installed website, or vice versa. If you are using like a speaker from this page, you can happily use an amplifier from the commercial side as long as it works for you, covering your necessities. Okay. So again, please go to the page. This is www.jblpro.com, and take a look at the speakers. You will be amazed of how many speakers we got on the 70-volt sides and the not 70-volt sides. Okay. And now we're gonna do a little change. We're gonna talk about help. Okay. Two of the most common questions is how to select your speaker and how to distribute your speakers. For that, we got two software are free from the JBL page. Okay. If you go to the JBL page and you scroll down to the end of the page, you will see this picture. If you click on that picture, it will take you to a page that you can download all those two software. Okay. And if you're not find that, there's a hard way to do it. That is going to the JBL web page. Then you go to support, download. You put your filter on software, and you will find the software here. Okay. After that, I'm going to explain how the software works. So, we got any questions? Okay. If you don't have a question, I'm going to change my screen again. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do this right here. Okay. There we go. This is the ceiling speaker configurator. Really simple. You got file because you can open an existing file or you can exit the system. Then the speaker configuration tab, you got new configuration. That is what we're gonna do. We got subwoofers calculator in case that you just need to know how many subwoofers do you need on this space. And on the preference tab, you decide if you wanna use it on the metric or English, like you prefer, the unit that measurement that you want to do. Okay. With that, that's window, and the help, it's about basically the instructions. I'm going to do a simple example. I go to speaker configuration, new configuration. Okay. I'm going to put the name of the project or any name that you want to. And from here on is basically just selecting some options, and it will give me the result. And this program will tell me at least 3 models of speakers that I can use for the necessity that I got, starting with the less expensive one to the more expensive one. Okay. Here you have to decide if you're doing music, paging, or both. Let's say that we're gonna do both. Over here, if you want to add non-T speakers, non-T means speaker without the transformer. That's AOM speakers. Okay. If you click there, it will give you options from speaker without transformer and speaker with the transformer or 70-volt speakers. Okay. And if we click here, it would only give me low impedance speakers, no with transformer. In my case, 99.9% of what I do is 70 volt. So I'm going to just leave it like that. Next, music. How much music I will have? Okay, let's say that I'm going to have like a medium foreground music. Okay. On the paging side, because I select both, I have to make decision for paging and for music. If I select music, it will only give me the choices for music, and it will not give me any kind of choices for paging. Okay. Let's say that I will have a medium restaurant with. Okay. Next, room area, maybe 600 meters. And the ceiling height, maybe 4 meters. Okay, this is the end. This is the recommendation of DB that I should have. And this my 3 option speakers that I can use for these matters. It gives me the model of the speaker, the tap setting, the quantity of speaker that it's required, the distance between speakers, and the SPL or sound pressure level that I will have continuously through the floor. Okay. Simple. I can, if I go to here, I can save it like a PDF or just generate a report that you can print out and give it to your client by any need, or just add into your file of the project so you have any for any future reference. Okay. Any question on this one? Okay. This is the one that people like the most. This is distributed system design. Basically, same options. I go to new design. Put my name. That says that I got a length of 380, a width of, I don't know, maybe 20, with a height of, let's say, 6 meters. In this one, I need to know what speaker I'm going to use and at least what power I would like to to add to that speaker. I'm a big fan for the Control 40 series. So I'm gonna look for the Control 40. I'm gonna do the 47 CT 30 watts. Okay, in a square arrange, it means that when you see the speakers on the ceiling, they will be arranged in a square. Okay, so that's my preference, but you can do it like an hexagonal if you want to. And on the overlap, I believe that a minimum overlap is more than enough. Maybe an edge to edge could be done. 4.3 dB or 35 dB is not that bad. Okay, I just press OK, and it generates me a page that says that with 6 speakers, I'm getting a maximum SPL of 93.4 dBs with a maximum continuous peak level of 99. Okay, it recommend me an amplifier of 260 watts. The variation between speakers, the number of speakers, number of rows, number of columns, and the distance between them. I really like this one because if you give this page to your installer, at least he knows a basic idea of what he has to do. Okay. Again, you can print this or save it for a future reference, and it's really helpful. Those are really, really simple programs, you know, but I use it every day. Okay. With that, I don't know if there's any other question.
Now's the time for questions, guys, or otherwise, if not, if you remember something, oh, I should have asked this question, make sure that you either hit myself up, nick@av-export.com, or if you are working with one of our other guys, Jorge Vera or Jorge Ocampo, to hit them up. We are all available and at your service. And whatever it is that we don't know, we've got a direct line of communication to both Jose and to Luis, who, again, are excellent resources for us and are available to us also for post-sales support. So whatever it is that you need, thank you guys again. Doesn't look like there are any questions. Luis, thank you so much. Jose, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow for round 2 in Spanish. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.